Good morning everyone, it's Yvonne here from the Aussie Goddess to do your reading, your What's Cracking for Monday the 6th of January. I still want to say December. Unfortunately, I still haven't got some dates organised for the other things, but I'll get there, I promise. With moving house and everything else that's going on here in Australia and all the other distractions I've had over the past week, I've found it very difficult to stay focused on things, unfortunately. So as soon as I get a chance, I'll get myself organised and get some dates up for some live card pulls. That's what I'm thinking of. Okay, what's cracking for Monday, the 6th of January? Oh, Four of Pentacles coming out. Okay, so the Four of Pentacles can talk about, it's about tightening of resources. Sometimes this can mean you're holding on to your money because things have been tight, and that would make sense first week in January. And being sort of a little bit more frugal. But the other thing in the traditional tarot we see is a man who has one on his head, one over his heart, and one under each of his feet, which means he is completely disconnected. Sometimes this means that we're hanging on to our fears, we're hanging on to beliefs, and we're hanging on to things that no longer serve us. And because we're hanging on so tightly, we're losing contact with our higher selves, we're losing our connection to the universe. So the Four of Pentacles can sort of be a card that says, you know, you need to let things flow, whether that's in regard to your money, your fears, whatever it is, you need to let it go. It looks very different on this card, so I'm not sure what the designer was thinking when he put them on here, but that's sort of the traditional thing of it. In fact, he sort of looks like a doctor on this card, so I don't know if that's what they were at. Anyway, next we have the Ten of Pentacles. So what I want to say to you, if you hang on to things too tightly, even money, everything in the universe is energy. That's where the Big Bang Theory and spirituality comes in connection. Everything is energy. Everything moves, everything flows, even things that look like they're solid. So if you hang on to things because you're worried about the scarcity or worried that you're going to lose them, then in fact what starts to happen is you lose them because you're clinging onto them too tightly. So it's a very strong message here to say that you would be much more abundant if you learn to go with the flow of the universe. Queen of Swords is here. So it can be in relation to someone who's a Libra, Gemini or Aquarius. It can also be your energy here. So maybe you need to be sort of a little bit more outspoken, a little bit more assertive, maybe take things a little more lightly. The Queen of Swords is known for her witty temperament, so maybe it's sort of about you letting go of belief about yourself, but being able to sort of speak up and say, or speak up about what's troubling you, what's on your mind here, what are you hanging on to, what are you scared of. Okay, Seven of Pentacles coming in. So the Seven of Pentacles is a card of patience and waiting. So maybe you're scared if you let go of something, it won't come back to you. The universe never withholds from you what was yours to begin with. So always remember that. Okay, let's get the whole deal. Okay, so we have the Hanged Man coming out. So the Hanged Man is the card of looking at things from a different perspective. It's the card of enlightenment. It's about taking time out to be able to see things in a different light. It's often that sort of, you can do this self-imposed, like you can decide to take time out because things aren't, you know, the way you want them, and maybe you're adjusting to that. But sometimes we're sort of forced into this hangman stalemate area where we are sort of asked to look at things differently and maybe have a different perspective on things. Always reminds me of a kid, you know, hanging off the back of the lounge, and I remember that well. Looking at the world the other way around, and how interesting it was when you saw the world in a different perspective. I think we did it at the swings too. Okay, Nine of Pentacles coming in here. So the Nine of Pentacles is a card of feeling very independent, self-sufficient, and able to stand on your own 2 feet. So maybe there's a fear of giving away a person or a situation or a job because you feel that if you give it away, you won't be able to survive. And the universe is saying here, you need to look at this differently because you do quite well to give it away. And maybe hanging on to it is worse for you than what it is letting it go. There we have you looking out towards the future, waiting for your ships to come in. So something's about to break here. Something's about to change. Yet I feel that you are in a position here where you're not getting a flow of energy. So you could be in a job that doesn't feel that it gives you back what you put in. You could be in a relationship here that is strained and uneasy, and you're putting in a lot of energy and not getting anything back. You may be thinking about leaving a situation or moving on to a new situation with this 3 of Wands here. Because for me, oh yeah, there's a decision. 2 of Swords coming in. So the 2 of Swords is the stalemate. It's the decision that you can't make because you don't want to make the decision. Perhaps not everything is known at this time. Perhaps you're waiting for more information. But something here says that you're probably going to find the universe is going to push you into making a decision. Then we have the Star card coming out here. So you need shifting to move onto a new path, onto a better path, or going in a better direction here. Yeah, taking a leap of faith. Okay, interesting. These cards all look very similar. Whatever stress you're undergoing here, whatever anxiety is coming over you, would be lessened by moving on. 3 of Cups coming out here. So there is some sort of celebration around you, something that allows you, oh beautiful, look, your 10 of Cups, all of your ducks in a row. Okay, nice reading, really beautiful reading. The universe is saying here in our mini story, to learn that hanging on to something does not help. It does not help you. Hanging on too tightly to your money, to your situation, to your old thoughts and feelings, whatever this is for you, hanging on is not helping you. Letting go, let go of control. If you do that, the universe can bring you in this abundance. You have to learn to take on a bit more of the Queen of Swords energy. Be a little bit more logical and strategic. Don't be so emotional. Perhaps this is about letting go of emotions. Whatever this is, you're going to have to be patient. Nothing's going to come any quicker by trying to control it, by trying to hang on to it. It's about allowing the universe to do its job. So we have you here trying desperately to see things from another perspective. Now, sometimes when we talk about hanging on to things and letting go, people say to me, but I don't know what it is I need to let go. Sometimes we don't know what it is. And I would suggest to you, if you don't know what it is that you're holding on to, maybe it's just your control. Maybe it's trying to make things happen instead of letting them flow. For example, you can apply for a job. You can apply for thousands of jobs, but you can't make someone give you a job. That's up to the universe how that works out. All you can do is for your part is, maybe write a good application, maybe appear really well at the interview, but you can't control getting the job. Well, you could if you paid them well. In all fairness, it was just a very loose example. If you're in love with someone, you can't make them love you back. Again, you can do what you need to do and try to control it, but at the end of the day, you can't control that situation. So this is about letting the universe do its job, basically. And they're saying here, if you let go and you just learn to flow with the energy, go with the energy. Don't hold on tightly. Just allow each moment of the day to come and go as it pleases. Don't live in the past. Don't preempt the future. Live in the moment. And what will happen if you do that, you'll feel confident and comfortable enough to be able to take this leap of faith when it comes to you. And this anxiety you feel, this stress you feel from hanging on to some sort of situation here that is not doing you any good. So what will happen if you allow the universe to just take you where it needs to take you, there will be a lot of abundance and a lot of celebration here, I guess. But it's learning to go with the flow. So that's a very simple message for people today. And you know, sometimes I think we can't help it. You know, I've seen people who've had broken relationships, you know, pretty much go back and beg the person to come back to them. And I'm like, well, they're not going to come back no matter what you do. You're better off just to move on, and just, if they realise that they want to be with you, they'll come back to you. But again, always remember, the universe does not withhold what was meant for you. So if it's not returned, then it wasn't meant for you. Okay, let's have a look and see what we've got here. Okay, we have the card of mending. My room is really empty at the moment because I'm moving house, and it's very echoey in here. So if you wonder why it's echoey, that's what it's about. Okay, so this is about forgiveness, making amends, and healing after arguments. And maybe it is about forgiveness. Maybe that's what you're holding on to here. A lot of people won't forgive because they think if they forgive, they're letting the other person off the hook. But forgiveness isn't about the other person. It's about you releasing the energy. So each time we are hurt and allow the hurt to pass through us without understanding and integration, we accumulate an unwanted burden. So maybe for you, that is about forgiveness. This keeps us chained to the very things we need to heal: the pain, the memories, the echoes of resentments, and the arguments that we rehearse over and over. Now is the time for mending rifts, healing wounds, and letting go of the old hurts in order to reclaim your power. Now is the time to forgive, to release, to make peace, and to make amends to others. Set yourself free. So what the universe is in fact saying here is you're hanging on to hurts and upsets that are holding you back from having your true abundance. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful day.